The U.S. debt ceiling debate has been front and center for probably, I would say, a few weeks now. It was something that we really didn't pay much attention to a few months ago, but with the deadline, I guess, of June 1st, Janet Yellen, Treasury Secretary, saying that if the U.S. doesn't extend or increase their debt limits, then basically they will be, or they will have issues as of June 1st, issues paying their debts. And what is a debt for a country? Well, obviously, you have government workers, you have certain parks, for example, monuments, things that people visit. You have debts that from other countries. Other countries lend you money, you have to pay interest on those debts. Government bonds, for example. So a lot of places or a lot of debt that is accumulated over the years in the U.S. We have a great chart on just exactly how much debt has accumulated in the U.S. And you're looking at almost $31 trillion of debt. Unbelievable number. And you can see how much it's gone up in the past, let's call it 20 years, actually even more, 30 years or so, 40 years actually. And you can see how much it spiked up. And you can look to the chart just beside it. It speaks about federal debt trends over time. It looks at debt to GDP. You can see the chart falling in the 80s and then spiking higher over the past 30, 40 years as well. And really, it's something that many in the U.S. are quite concerned about leaving our kids, our grandkids with these high levels of debt. And it brings out a conversation about taxes. I know a lot of Democrats will say, and even liberals in our country will say, well, we need to spend the money. This is money we've already spent. And where are we going to get the money? Well, we want those in the higher tax brackets, the wealthier individuals, to pay their fair share. And I know a lot of the wealthy individuals think they already pay their fair share. They'll say that 80% of the tax revenue comes from 20% of the people out there, and that is true. I know in the US, they're considering lots of different things, even going as far as taxing unrealized capital gains. So let's say you buy a stock, it makes 20%, you haven't sold it yet. Well, there was an idea, although it's been shot down by Republicans, but there was an idea out there that they will tax you on those unrealized capital gains even before you sell the stock. So my question is, what happens if you sell it and actually before you sell it actually goes down in value and you would have paid capital gains on something that no longer exists? How could you even monitor that? So there's been a lot of talk in the US about figuring out ways to bring down the debt, spend less. Republicans want Democrats to spend less. Democrats are saying they can't spend much less. And there you have the debate, and the debate rages on. I've talked to people here in our country, in our city, about debt levels, about taxation. And obviously, it depends on who you talk to. You get a different angle. But there are many people out there that just don't understand even our tax brackets. Why do certain individuals that are making $100,000 paying more tax as a percentage as those making $50,000? Perhaps we should have a flat tax. Everybody pays 25% or 30%. And just by numbers, if you're making $100,000 and you pay 30% tax, well, you're going to pay $30,000. Someone who's making $50,000, you're going to pay $15,000. So the person making more money pays more tax dollar-wise, but not percentage-wise. And that's something I've heard from a few people. Interesting concept, interesting idea, but one that's been unfortunately shot down many times. So overall, the United States right now, at the moment where they need to increase their debt limits to pay for spending that has already happened. I believe that the U.S. debt ceiling will be raised, and so the U.S. will be able to pay their bills. Keep in mind, this is a U.S. phenomenon, by the way. Here in our country, we just pay our bills. There is no debate within government whether or not we should pay or not. It's we pay. So this is a U.S. phenomenon. Not sure why or how they even have this in place today. This should be something, in my opinion, that gets done away with, but we'll see if that happens. But having said that, I think from those that have asked me about it, you shouldn't worry. They will pay their debts. The United States will not default. And I think at some point, will the market get a boost from it? I don't think so. But I think the market at least will be a little bit more calm once this debt ceiling debate is over.